What's going on, guys? First of all, I want to say big thanks to anybody who is keeping up with our Batman Hush reviews, and big thanks to Scott for including me. I'm really thankful to have been included with so many other great people on this this great project. But first of all, I'm going to give a little recap of what's happened so far, and then I'm going to get into my particular issue, which is 610. So I'm going to talk a little bit about 608 and 609 just to catch everyone up if they haven't been watching previous videos. But our story started with Batman intervening in a kidnapping and ransom case, which it seems like Killer Croc is behind, which Batman thinks is strange. He thinks it's a little out of character for Killer Croc. But anyway, Batman's able to subdue him, and during that fight, Catwoman takes the briefcase full of money, and Batman then decides to chase her. And during that chase, his grappling line is cut, and he falls and is critically injured. He's totally incapacitated, and this group of street thugs is going to attack him, but Huntress ends up saving his life. He goes back to the Batcave, and Alfred is working on him, but Alfred realizes that he needs some more help than Alfred can give him, so they take him to Dr. Thomas Elliot, who is a surgeon and Bruce Wayne's childhood friend. While all this is going on, we see Catwoman taking that ransom money to Poison Ivy, kind of showing us that it's a little bit bigger than just Killer Croc, running this and Catwoman stealing the money. It goes a little bit beyond that. And feel free to go back and check out more detailed reviews of those particular issues if you haven't already. Those will be posted. But anyway, that brings us up to speed with issue 610. And here, Batman has recovered from his severe injuries, largely thanks to Dr. Thomas Elliot. And we find Batman at Arkham having a conversation with Killer Croc, who's incarcerated. And he executes a plan with the help of Amanda Waller to let Killer Croc out of Arkham in an attempt to follow him and sort of try and figure out who's running this whole thing. He wants to know, who's in charge of the kidnapping, and it's also likely the same person who's responsible for Batman's fall in the previous issue, or maybe the issue before that. I forget which particular issue it takes place in, but this issue largely consists of a confrontation between Killer Croc and Batman, and the story doesn't progress a whole lot, but I think two major things happen here. First of all, it becomes clear to the reader and to Batman that the story, what's going on here is so much bigger than what was originally expected. We find out the true reason why Killer Croc needed the money. As it turns out, he seems to be mutating, and his condition is getting out of control, and he's becoming less and less human. And Croc reveals that he's trying to regain some of his humanity, or at least preserve what he still has left. He's trying to prevent whatever's happening to him. So after that's revealed, Amanda Waller and her team swoop in, and they pick up Killer Croc and take him back to Arkham. And then immediately following this, we get another major development here between Batman and Catwoman. Here, Batman and Catwoman become strongly romantically involved, and with the final page of the issue, which is a fairly famous page. I'm pretty sure that most people have seen it, even if they haven't read Hush. But it's the picture of Batman and Catwoman in an embrace, kissing on the last page of issue 610. Their relationship will continue to grow and change throughout the rest of Hush. And personally, I think it's probably, if not the most compelling, one of the most compelling storylines found within Hush. Sort of the development of Batman's trust in Catwoman and later his distrust, and I'm sure this relationship will be discussed further by other YouTubers. So I'll just leave it at that. But another thing worth mentioning are the flashback sequences, and we get one in this particular issue. Speaking about the art and the coloring style briefly. Coloring-wise, it's all white and like a dark blue color, and it's almost like a watercolor. And I think the contrast from the normal, what the rest of the book looks like, is great. And these sections are some of my favorite in the entire book. And I'm glad that there was one in this particular issue, so I could at least touch on it. But this particular flashback in issue 610 is prompted by the appearance of Thomas Elliot at Bruce Wayne's home. He talks to Alfred a little bit and says he's there to check up on his patient, who's Bruce, of course. And these flashbacks are meant to give some depth to the relationship between Tommy Elliot and Bruce. And then in this specific one, we get to learn about the death of Tommy's father in a car crash, and his mother survived thanks to the help of Thomas Wayne. As the story progresses, you'll find out more about the true nature of the situation, and this will be something that's discussed down the line. I'm not going to give anything away, but it may be a little bit more complicated than it first seems. Also worth mentioning, I'm not sure if this is going to be touched on by anyone else, is the appearance of characters throughout the story wearing trench coats. And just in this issue alone, we see Tommy Elliot, Killer Croc, and also a shadowy silhouette on the top of a rooftop who we don't know who it is yet. They're all wearing the same or similar trench coats, and I won't go in depth about what that means, or I won't speculate about what I think it could mean, because I don't want to spoil anything for down the line, but it's definitely an interesting thing to pay attention to as you read through the story. So just a little bit of a recap. Batman has a confrontation with Killer Croc, and we learn that it goes much higher than Croc. Tommy Elliot has a conversation with Alfred, and we find out through a flashback that Tommy Elliot's parents were in a car crash, and his father was killed, but Thomas Wayne is able to save his mother. And we get a huge development between Batman and Catwoman, which is going to continue to build throughout the rest of this, the arc. And that brings us to the end of the issue. A big thank you to anybody who watched my particular issue today, or my particular video today, and a big thanks to anybody who's keeping up with these. We're all really excited to be able to do this, and we hope that you guys enjoy them as well. Make sure you check out the review of issue 611, which will be out tomorrow, and subsequent issues down the line. Once again, big thanks to anybody who's watching my video. Take care, and I'll talk to you guys again soon.